Welcome back to the Daily Explainer. Today, we're tackling a really fascinating paradox. We're going to look at how to find ultimate peace and fulfillment right smack in the middle of our chaotic, modern daily grind. To do this, we're tapping into some serious ancient wisdom, specifically the Isha Upanishad, to decode a profound secret. It's all about how to live a long, happy life without completely burning out.
Can you live a long life without being bound by your actions?
Section 1. The Secret to a Century. Okay, let's dive into this ancient wisdom and see exactly how we can live deeply, but without all that burnout.
The Isha Upanishad says, by performing karma in this world, should one yearn to live 100 years. Thus, action does not bind thee. Now, what's really interesting about this is the deeper meaning. Living 100 years symbolizes a complete, fulfilled lifespan. It's not necessarily just a biological clock. It represents a life where not a single moment feels like a burden. It's a life you wouldn't wish to shorten by a single breath simply because it's lived in complete peace and happiness.
Let's take a second to clarify what we mean by karma in this context. It literally just means action, or the deeds we do in this world. Cause and effect. The Upanishad isn't telling us to just give up, pack our bags, and go hide in a cave somewhere. Not at all. It's actually pointing out that action itself doesn't have to be a trap. Engaging with the world is perfectly fine. In fact, it's required. The catch isn't what we're doing, but rather how we're doing it.
Section 2. The Trap of Desire. Let's move to and see how this builds into the core problem we all face every single day, that deep burnout that comes from our constant cravings.
So, if the action itself isn't the problem, what is? Well, the commentary vividly describes desire as the real cankerworm eating away at the garden of our lives. It's like a wasting fever. Whether it shows up as wishing, demanding, or just intense craving, it destroys our inner peace. It's this exact fever that drives us frantically onward, making us forget who we really are while we chase external things that, let's be honest, just don't last.
It really brings to mind that classic question, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Think about how perfectly this maps onto our modern trap. We're constantly trying to pile up material gains, constantly chasing that next big promotion, or maybe the bigger house. But we often do it at the steep cost of our own well-being. We end up totally imprisoned by our own frantic busyness.
Section 3. The Art of Non-Attachment. So, how do we actually break free from this exhausting cycle? Here is the ultimate Upanishadic solution to the exhaustion of our worldly actions.
The secret is to act without selfish attachment.
And this brilliantly illustrates the two very different paths we can take in our daily lives. On one hand, you've got the ego-driven worker. They're anxious, hyper-attached to the results, and frankly, miserable when things don't go exactly according to plan. They're trapped in their own activity. But on the other hand, look at the desireless worker. They are earnest, completely detached from the outcomes, and just perfectly at peace. They don't have to ride that exhausting emotional roller coaster of success and failure.
Section 4. Working with earnestness. We really need to clear up a major misconception right here. When people hear words like desireless or non-attachment, they usually think it means acting like a passive zombie, just vegetating, or doing sloppy work because you supposedly don't care. But the Upanishad is incredibly clear. A wise person does their work with absolute, intense earnestness. We have to work to the absolute best of our abilities. That is our part of the deal.
So the crucial point is perfectly captured in this quote from Sri Ramakrishna. If you can weigh salt, you can weigh sugar. I absolutely love this analogy. Basically, if you're proficient in your inner, spiritual life, that's going to translate directly into immense skill in your outer life too. Detaching from the outcome doesn't make you incompetent. It actually turns you into a master of your craft, because your mind is finally clear, focused, and free from anxiety. You get to use all of your capabilities.
As the commentary notes, we should work with earnestness but without yearning for the fruits of our labor. Section 5. The Joy of the Desireless. So, when we finally stop grasping so tightly at the results, what are we actually left with? Does life just get boring and dull? Not even a little bit. This is where we reach the ultimate realization of this philosophy, which radically redefines what happiness actually means.
Only the desireless, who have fulfilled themselves in God, are the most alive and happy of beings.
Do your work today, but let go of the results. See you tomorrow for day 8.
Before we officially wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. How will your daily grind change if you stop craving the results of your actions?
Just imagine, for a second, the weight that would lift right off your shoulders if you poured your whole heart into your work and then just completely let go of what happens next. It's a real game changer. Think about it, and we'll catch you next time.